Man, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy Lou. So, look, we're going to get right into it on these charts. So, today I'm going to be breaking down this trade I took last week, and I took a sell on the German British Pound versus JPY. So, let's go ahead and get started. So, we're on a daily time frame right now, and this is all the price action that we pretty much need, right? Because this is a good picture. So, let's just start here. So, as we can tell, we're going, or which way is price going right now? Is price going up, or is price going down? Overall, we can tell that we're going up, right? So price is pretty much bullish right now. So we're only looking for buys long term. In short term, I'll just break it down. So look, let's just go ahead and start market structure first. So we're going to start here at this low. So we have our low, we have a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, equal higher lows, and then a higher high. So let's go ahead and add it. So we had our low, high, came down to make a higher low, broke through that to make a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, equal higher lows, and then we broke this high to make a new higher high. So now we're just pretty much sitting between these equal lows right here and this high right here, right? So we're pretty much in between this range. So price could either make a higher low anywhere in between this range and break this to make a higher high, and then we'll look for a continuation of bullish momentum or bullish trend, whatever, or price could come through and break all these lows, and then once we break that, we'll wait for a retest to continue down. Or another thing that could happen, price could just take some liquidity right here, come back up, and then come back up here, and then do whatever, right? So we're not really waiting on, we are waiting. We're not really focused on which price doing. We're just going to wait. So, well, I'm not going to wait. I'm going to show you guys the trade I took, right? Because that's what this YouTube video is about. So let me just go ahead and break it down. So as I said, we're in between this range right here, right? So we have our bullish structure. We have our high, higher low, higher high. So this is our higher low. If we break this higher low, then we're no longer forming bullish structure. Then all this will cancel, right? We have to wait for a new structure to form. So if we break this, we wait for a new lower low, lower highs, lower low, lower highs, right? But that's if we break that. So that's just showing you guys the chart and what I was looking at basically on the naked charts, right? So now let's go into the phases, right? Which is also tied in with market structure. So there's push phases and there's exhaust phases. So push phase, exhaust phase, push phase, exhaust phase, impulse, retracement, however you want to call it, right? The market don't just go straight up and just straight up, right? It has to pull back and go up, pull back, go up, pull back. Like you guys know if you watched all my videos, I explain market structure in pretty much all of them because you have to know market structure in order to trade Forex. So this is a quick tip real quick before I break down this trade. So there's impulses and pullbacks in the market, like I just said, or impulse correction, whatever you want to call it, right? So the market goes up, comes down, like I just said, breaks and comes down. So whenever the market is in a push phase like this, you don't want to be buying right here, right? Because what's going to happen after a push phase? The market's going to come down, right? It's not just going to keep going up. And obviously you can get some trades that just keep going. But if we're talking about market structure, the market is going to go up and then exhaust, go up and exhaust. So right here, if we're looking at the chart, what would you want to be doing right here? So we pushed up, we exhausted, now we're pushing up. Would you want to be buying right here? Because look, all these people who are getting in the market right here, we just broke above this high. Now we had this fat bullish engulfing candle. So now we see all of this, right? We're not going to include market structure in our trading. We're just going to see this fat engulfing candle. So we're going to buy right here, right? And then look what happened. Lost all that, right? So you just have to know market structure in order to trade Forex. So now we had our retracement, right? And then we had our push phase. So now people are like, oh my God, we just broke above this. We're going up here again, or we're going higher, right? But no, it's a push phase. So now you have to wait for retracement and then get it somewhere right here, right? And then that's where you enter the market, somewhere right here, stop loss here, whatever, and then risk reward. So that's just to give you guys a little tip if you didn't know that already. So let's actually get into the trade now. I just wanted to show you guys that so this trade will make a little bit more sense because I haven't showed any trades that I took going against the trend, just counter trend trading. So now that we talked about that, let's go ahead and break down the trade. So this is basically my chart with the technicals on it. It's just the same thing, just with a couple trend lines and a couple horizontal levels, right? So this is just my support and resistance levels. So if we look on a daily, this resistance level right here, or this key level 153,200, and this level of 149. So two psychological levels, and then as well as this level right here, 15600, which is the level that I took this trade off of. So this is what my chart looks like, and this is a counter trend trade, and so that means I wasn't going with the trend, right? So you see how we're forming bullish market structure. I didn't take buys on this, I took a sell, because like I said, we impulsed, right? And then we had a correction, and now we impulsed. We wouldn't want to buy right here, right? We want to wait for that correction and then look to get in a buy right here on these highs or on this level right here, right? So now that I talked about that, let's go ahead and break it down. So now that we see that on the daily, and I already said that we're waiting for market structure, right? So we're not going to look to take buys right here, right? We're waiting for market structure because we know price has to pull back, because we know that price just made this fat impulsive move. So now we're waiting for price to pull back, right? So now that we already got that in mind, let's go ahead and look at the technicals. So as I said, price made a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and higher high. So after price made this higher high, I was waiting for a level to come back to look for buys. So this first level I was looking at was here, and I didn't take any buys on the level because I didn't like how it was bouncing. I was looking here, but I didn't like the rejection here. I thought it was just going to break the level, right? Because it was just going to manipulate buyers in the market and then stop them all out. So that's what happened. So off this level here, so we had our high, higher low, higher high. So people were probably going to get in the market right here thinking that this is the higher low, and then now we're going to break above this level to come up here and make a higher high, right? Going along with the bullish trend, right? But once we broke above, or once we broke under that level, this level right here, that's when I started looking for sales, because I knew that once we broke this level, I knew that we weren't going to be bullish, at least for the time being right now. I knew that we were going to be short-term bears to look to get in, to find more liquidity, basically, to look to take price back up. So after it broke under this level, this is what I was looking at. Basically, it was just a break and retest trade. Simple trade, right? So even though we have our higher time frame market structure, right, we're going to go into the lower time frame and add a market structure there, right? Because you want to have market structure in every time frame, kind of, just for added confluence, if you know what I mean. But anyways, let's just go ahead and add in our market structure on the 4 hour. So we had price come up here, made a double top, and then broke this structure, right? So it broke this structure to make a low. And then price came back up to make a lower high, right? So now we have our high, low, lower high. And now what do? We broke under all these lows, right, to make this lower high, right? So now we have a downtrend on a lower time frame. We have a high, low, lower high, and now it's confirmed because it broke these lows. Now we have our lower low. Now we have bearish price action in the market. And even though we're still bullish on a daily, you have to look at structure, because structure tells you everything, right? You have to look at the flow of price. So once price broke here, I was looking at market structure right here, right? So we have like I just said, we have a high, low, lower high, and now we have our lower low. So now we're just waiting for what? Price to pull back to make a lower high, right? To get in anywhere under this level. Because if we break this, we're not looking at this little downtrend anymore, right? Because we broke above structure. So we're just going to look for new structure to play out or something, right? So we didn't break above this. We didn't even break above this, right? Instead, we came here and rejected under this level for, so this is the 4 hour time frame. We rejected here for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and 4 hours. So for 16 hours, we rejected here. I didn't mean to say 4 hours. So for 16 hours, we rejected here, right? Because we have that rejection wick, rejection, rejection, rejection. So buyers were trying to come up here, couldn't. Trying to come up here, couldn't. Trying to come up here, couldn't. Trying to come up here, and couldn't. It finally just broke down, right? So let me explain the trade I was in. So like I just said, I was waiting. I knew price had to come back to this level, right? Because there was an imbalance on the daily. And the imbalance was right here. So I knew price had to at least come back to this level, right? So that's one of my confluences, if you want to call it a confluence, which it is. But once price broke under this to make this lower low, I added this trend line in right here to here. And I was waiting for price to come back to test this, right? So, and then also once price broke from here, I had a fib from this swing to this swing, and I was waiting for price to come to the 61.8 where my trend line was lining with, right? Along with this support and resistance on the lower time frame. So let me drop down to the 2 hour. So as you can see, price came here and hit and then bounced up, hit, bounced up, hit, bounced up. So this is a good support level right here, right? At this 156 psychological level, like I said. So once price breaks under this, like I said in my old videos, old support turns to new what? Resistance, right? So now once we see that coming in here and rejecting this trend line, which was the third touch, 1, 2, 3. So that was one confluence. Second confluence was this horizontal level. So old support turns into new resistance. And my third confluence was this fib level, like I said, right? So I just drew it from this swing to this swing low. And I was going to wait for price to retrace to see where it wanted to come up. And it was stalling at the 61.8 and rejecting there. So that's when I took my sell. I believe I took it right here. I'm going to show a screenshot after. But had my stop loss above here, above 78.6. And my take profit was the daily level that I had. Remember, the 153, 200 psychological level and the imbalance on the daily. So that's just where I was wanting to take full profits, and I was just gonna let this run. I wasn't taking partial profits nowhere, even though I was gonna look here if price started rejecting, but it didn't reject at all when I was watching price. Like it just went right through the zone because we had a fundamentals that also backed up this trade, so it helped it. But it just went right past the zone. I was gonna take partials here and let it run here and take full position here, but I just let it run. So it was like I'm about to show you. But anyways, that was basically the trade, right? And if you want a little recap again, basically we have higher high. I mean, we have bullish structure, right? But once we form this higher high, we know once we form this higher high after this high, so we have a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So once we form this, we know that we have to come down, right? The market's not just going to keep going up forever. This big impulse wave is not just going to keep going up. It has to come down, right? So now we're just going to look at structures on the lower time frame. And also, we know that there's an imbalance right here, so price has to come down here. So now we're looking at a lower time frame for a trade to get in to look to target this area. Even though we're overall bullish, we're still looking for just opportunities, right, basically. So I seen the opportunity, I took it. So it was just a break under this support level. So we have a high, a low, lower high, lower low. So now we have our confirmed lower low. So now once we have that, we know that this is bearish practice action now, or bearish movement in the market, right? So now we can add in our fib levels from this level to this level where it broke. And now we can come to see where it retraces from. And it was hitting the 61.8 and rejecting. So I sold it here, right? And once I sold it here, it just said take profit. And take profit was about, all right, so this is where I got in the trade, right? And this is on the daily. So this is what it looked like. And I can't even zoom up. I'm not on my Mac, but let me see if I can zoom in. All right, here we go. So that's on the daily time frame, and that's just what it looked like. So it was rejecting a lot on the daily off the 61.8. So I was just thinking that it was this candle, it was coming up, and then this is the wick that we're gonna leave behind, and the price is just gonna drop right, like it did right here, kind of, and then they're just gonna make new candles just like that off this level. So that's on the daily time frame. This is on the 4-hour when I entered it. So see all them rejection, broke under, came back, reject, and then rejected some more times. But that's just where I entered right here. After it rejected, made a tweezer top on a 61.8. And I got in here, and then This is where I took profit. So it wasn't exactly at the level because I was just watching price and it was coming down. So I just closed it right. So I just closed it right here, right? If you can even see. Anyways, right here, right? So 153, 188, or whatever that was. So that's what the trade looked like. I hope you guys learned something from it and appreciate you guys for watching.